Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
Coming out of the water in his prime, Drinking Bro Sports Tailgate Legends. We're live
from a pool.
From the Beckholz Tiki Bar Lounge Pool.
In Claytona Beach, North
Claytona
Carolina.
Beach. Look, it's a blazer. It was 118 at the Vegas fight for McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
And we said, you know what, it's just too hot. We're getting in the pool.
And it's midsummer. I mean, this is what we do midsummer.
We got a couple of in-still cocktails coming. This show's brought to you by GhostBed.com, Killcliff, and of course, always In-Still Distilling Company.
Always.
Makers of the finest rums on the planet.
It used to be just North Carolina, then Florida, then North America.
They have
Now it's
moved
the
on
planet.
to the planet.
Can we confirm the universe too? We might as well.
Not yet. I'll
Not
check
yet?
the analytics next week.
Okay.
See where we're at on the universe.
So if there was a heel to the rum game, who would it be? Because McGregor has established himself as the heel of UFC. Is it Captain Morgan? Do we want to shame any other rum businesses?
Yeah,
while we're here?
I think it's Captain Morgan. We've all had that.
What about
night.
Malibu?
We've all set sail with Captain.
Yes, we
Malibu's
have.
different. You know, Malibu's, you need it as a mixer, right? That coconut rum, it's like 25% alcohol. That's fire. It goes great in orange juice.
It's not as good as the Instill White rum, though.
Well, no, Malibu's not white rum.
What is Malibu?
It's
then?
that coconut rum.
Oh,
Well, I guess Malibu might have a white rum. I don't pay
maybe.
attention. I don't drink that
It
stuff.
wouldn't be as good
I
as
stay
Instill.
craft or I go home.
Well, McGregor's gonna go home with a limp. We got to talk about that. You saw how it broke, right? So
I
everyone
broke
was
my leg the same exact way.
by kicking someone.
in a fight. Did he kick somebody?
So that's how it happened. So everyone was kind of questioning
I
how
thought
it
he just
happened.
stepped back on it.
It looked like it when he did do the little step back, but they did it in slow motion. He actually kicked Poirier like right there. You can
Okay.
see on YouTube there, hammer the like button. And then he didn't realize it, and he took a step back. And when he stepped back, it gave out.
Oopsies.
And the funniest part about it is he lost again to Poirier, right? So Poirier's got 2 out of 3 against McGregor. And now he's sitting on the ground. Rogan runs over and sits right next to him to get the interview, which I just love, right? Anytime I get to say how much I love Rogan, I'll do it. But that was awesome, seeing him as McGregor's yelling at Poirier about how his wife is in his DMs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, let's talk about that. Do you think his wife was really in his DMs, or is he just setting up for the next fight?
Jesus, I don't know. I mean,
Those are fighting words. Those are, as
they
Chuck Liddell
certainly
would
are.
say, there are. What does Chuck Liddell always say? Wait, hang on.
violence is everything.
No, when he says that that is a fighting move or that's a fighting.
Oh yeah. What? Oh shit. What did he
I
say?
forgot what
That's
it
right,
is,
yeah.
but
a fighting offense.
A fighting offense.
Yes.
I think yelling out to the world.
Your
that
wife's
your
in my
wife's
DMs. The thing is, if you're, are you reaching around? What are you doing? Oh, if you're Poirier, do you go and ask your wife like, so hey, any chance you really are in
Yeah, right.
McGregor's DMs? Do you think he asked you? Or do you think he just ignored it?
I think he was probably pissed. He's like, she's probably all waiting for him, like, come on in, champ. And he's like, nah, get the fuck out of here until
But I mean,
tomorrow.
you've been in a handful of fights, right? Have you ever lost a fight, like that, pretty bad, and you're disabled basically on the ground and still continuing to talk shit? I mean, you got to have some sort of balls to be able to do that.
I will tell you a story. I told this story on my other podcast, Failure to Stop.
Go check that out.
I was fighting a murder suspect. It ended up being attempted murder. But the gentleman had done 14 years in prison and then just gotten out of prison and went back to try to kill the same broad that landed him in prison for 14 years prior.
Yikes.
So he shows up, bludgeons her with a bedpost or whatever, and I happen to get the first on scene, and the guy takes off on me in a car, and I chase him in my car, and he ends up slamming into my partner at like 57 miles an hour, I think is what the speedometer was stuck at. Crossed 4 lanes of traffic and ran his truck all the way up onto her police car and through her windshield. So he got out, and I had gotten out of my car, and he came at me, and we were fighting. And as I stepped back on a curb, snapping my leg. I got 12 screws, 2 pins, a plate, and a rod in my left leg. And when I hit the ground, of course, I held onto his crotch, and 2 of my other partners were able to
No,
jump
hold
top
on.
him.
You're not
Yep.
going to just go and fly by that. You held on to his crotch.
Yeah, I had to reach up I didn't want to let him go.
So that was just your only line of defense at that point.
It was just all I had in my hands
grab
on.
some balls, huh?
And so my other 2 partners jumped on and just really beat the brakes off of him. Beat the brakes off him so bad that my partner actually broke his own arm
Nice.
punching the dude in the back of the head, and he was out for actually like 5 months with a broken arm. And so I was laying there with a broken leg, and my leg was all twisted up backwards. And the guy was laying there on the ground, and he said, "I'm really sorry to put you through all this." And I said, "You can go eat a dick." And it was on microphone, and everybody gave me. When the chief came into the hospital, and I was just coming out of surgery, she leaned in and she's like, "By the way, I watched your film, your body camera footage, or the footage from the in-car camera." She goes, "Eat a dick?" And I was like, "Uh-oh." And then she just like kind of like knuckled me, and then
She should have said, "I'd still be hungry if I ate yours." I got a laugh out of Noel. Wow, that's how you
Yeah.
know it was a good one when you
But
hear Noel
the thing
laugh.
is like when you snap your ankle like that, because it looked exactly like mine when I broke mine. Everything goes numb down there.
So you weren't
it
talking
actually
shit on the
hurt-
ground. Are you just
I
grabbing some
did.
balls?
I told the guy to eat a dick.
I guess so, right? I mean, so then, yeah, you got a little bit of McGregor in
and
you
I talked a
then.
little bit shit, but you know, you know where it hurt was in
Your
my
soul?
crotch, my groin.
Why is that?
I don't know. Maybe there's a nerve that runs up from your ankle to your groin, but like I thought I had shot myself accidentally in the penis. That's how bad it hurt up in my groin area.
Like
I
the
didn't.
guy in 8 Mile there, Cheddar Bob. You ever
Yeah.
watch 8 Mile?
Yeah.
So that was the beat that Mike the Cop had. Was
Yeah,
8
8 Mile.
8 Mile, right? So I would, when we get a chance to meet him, right?
Next week.
Yeah, I would, which everyone around the area has got to go check that out. I want to ask him if the 8 Mile shit is true. Is it
I want to
really?
see if he's arrested Eminem.
I'm sure Eminem's been arrested many, many times, and
Domestic abuse?
allegedly, can
Yes.
neither confirm nor deny. But my point on the McGregor thing is, it's just wild to see someone who gets their ass beat as many times as he does, but
But he's
continues to make
Irish. Isn't
money
that the Irish way?
to get
Like-
their ass beat.
Well, yeah, and still talk shit.
I don't know. Let's ask O'Sheen on that.
Like
one.
I don't think they ever stop talking shit. I don't think they ever really lose. They just go home and recoup and try again.
But honestly, he's a guy you kind of love to hate now. I know he's got a cult following, right? Obviously,
He's
his
the villain of
his
the
fellow
UFC.
Irishman.
So I mean,
He's great for the sport, though. You
it
need
is
guys
great.
like
You
that.
got to have a villain. And do you think that's what he's trying to do? Is
Oh, well,
promote
look at
himself?
this. Wow, how
hey.
lucky are we?
Look at
Thank you,
that.
Susie
Thank
Q.
you. Thank you.
And you
This
can
is,
hammer the like button after just seeing our good friend Susie on screen right there. If
Yeah,
you're not,
you just got us a whole bunch of likes on YouTube.
we sure did a whole lot of views, because if you're only listening, go over to YouTube and check that out.
If I had a girl like that bringing me drinks all the time, probably wouldn't be a married man anymore.
Jesus.
And my wife actually made these drinks, so I better be careful.
And they're well, maybe it's a Cosby drink thrown in there just for old times' sake, right?
I'd let her Cosby me, to be honest with you.
Who, Susie or your wife?
Either. I don't care. Yes.
I mean, it would make this podcast a lot more fun. Maybe we should do a Cosby episode. We Cosby
but I
want to
remember that. If I've got two girls
Well, it's on video.
Cosby me, I want to remember that.
It'll be on video,
forever.
so we'll never forget.
It'll be a night we won't remember.
Well, a night that I remembered would be last night. That's only because
man, that's really good.
I didn't
So
drink
that's
that
a
much whiskey.
painkiller.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's a painkiller. So anybody watching out there, see the perfect pool drink, especially being that it's 118 degrees in some parts of the country. This is Instill Distilling Company's white rum with 2 parts orange juice, 3 parts pineapple juice, and creme de la coconut until you get that little kind of yellowy, creamy color in your drink, and you're good to go.
Thank
very
you,
simple,
Ashley.
very easy, very tropical, and that Instill rum really
Oh,
makes it nice.
I'll ask you this question live on air. So, failure to stop. I'm not sure if it's you. I'm not sure if it's Mike or
Okay.
if it's both of you or Danny. But they said you guys posted on the Failure to Stop Instagram account favorite cop movies.
Yes, I did
I
that.
posted Training Day.
I put it on there.
You've never seen Training Day, though?
I have not seen Training Day.
What the I mean, you're a cop.
Yeah.
That's like Denzel Washington in his prime. King
Okay.
Kong ain't got shit on me.
Okay.
All right, we need to do a live watch along to us watching Training Day together. What do you think?
Like on YouTube?
Yeah.
Sure.
We could do like on the Drinking Bros Sports live feed or something. I mean, that's an all-timer. I'm very.
Well,
so what's your favorite cop movie?
I didn't realize Bright.
Really?
Yeah.
So I have a friend who works in Hollywood, and she actually did the special effects and makeup for that movie, Bright.
It was a great movie.
We watched most of it. We got distracted halfway through, though. Winky face.
Did you get a little bee jibber? A little blowy?
Maybe a little bit more than that.
I got
but,
a blowy
anyway.
watching Star Wars. I've never seen Star Wars either. And my wife said that like she wouldn't
Who
marry
are
me
you?
unless we watched Star Wars, unless I'd seen it. And so we got this cabin and we got the VHS,
Ooh,
the
okay, old
Star
school.
Wars VHS, and we went and we put it on. And I don't think we made it through the opening scenes.
You got to
Yeah,
a
so I still
galaxy
haven't seen
far,
it.
far away, and boom, right to it, huh?
Yeah, I still haven't seen Star Wars.
Something about C-3PO just turns you on, huh? Is it the shiny
Is that
gold?
the shop vac?
Yeah, that's exactly. No, that would be R2D2.
Oh.
We got to educate you on some of this pop
C-130
culture.
and the old trash can and the Dark Star and the
The Dark, yeah. All right.
Darth
Anyway,
Vader.
obviously, we're swinging and missing over here with the Star Wars references, but let's reference what happened last night, which, again, I know you're watching it Friday. We're filming this Tuesday, so Monday night, I should say. Home Run Derby.
Ooh, yes. The
So-
scumbag Mets.
So Pete Alonso was the winner, and he broke the record for 35 ding-dongs in the first round, which is wild to watch. You know,
What's a ding dong?
a ding-dong would be a home run where
Okay.
I come from.
Okay. Okay.
Could be the mayor of Ding Dong City if you do it right.
All right.
So anyway, back when I was a
I'm
kid,
standing next to a ding dong.
the Midsummer Classic and the Home Run Derby was one of my favorite spectacles. They've had to switch it up a lot because it gets stale real quick. But what they've done now in the past few years is instead of just having outs, they have time. So you got these guys swinging at everything. And once they kind of get rolling, like Pete Alonso did in that first round, smoking it. Like, I'm talking like 515 feet over and over and over again. He had 35 home runs in like 5 minutes time. I mean, that's wild to see.
Jesus.
And then you have Shohei Ohtani, who is like the most wild phenom that we've seen since like freaking Babe Ruth over here. Dude is starting pitcher in the All-Star game, batting leadoff, was in the home run derby, and then when he's done pitching, he's going to go and play the field and get another extra at bat. I mean, we've never seen anything like this with Ohtani, other than Babe Ruth, but no one's around to say that they've seen Babe Ruth anyway. So, I mean, the thing is, if you go look at him from 2 years ago, right, he looks like Buddha up there. Looks like a skinny little motherfucker. But now he's kind of, juiced up a little bit, looking like Mr. Tansy over here with the big guns. I don't want to speculate anything, but anytime you see a baseball player kind of get all jacked up, I mean, what do you think?
You gotta bring the juice back, baby.
Yeah, for sure.
Come on.
For
Nobody
sure.
wants to fucking watch these bean poles, jack line drives down shortstop lane. We want to see some motherfuckers hitting it out of the park. I want to
Yeah.
see some legs breaking. I want to see some real shit in sports. I mean, that's why.
Well, it's a few things I think baseball should bring back. I've been on record saying cheating and steroids and all that should come back.
Yes.
But also what they've taken away is the physicality of it in the sense of Chase Utley and Buster Posey. Chase was the one delivering the blow while Buster Posey was the one getting hurt. They took away the takeout slides and the railroad and the catcher. I mean, you
But
love
isn't
Pete
base
Rose.
running- base running's like out of all time low right now.
Yeah,
Like,
Dan talked
people
about that because
suck at base running these
well,
days.
analytics are taking over the game, and for whatever reason, they're not paying attention to base running analytics. It's all about launch rate, spin rate, and exit velocity and all this shit. But people forgot the fundamentals of the game.
I
it
love a
seems
good
like.
pickle, and I think a pickle is good for entertainment.
Well, I
and
heard
viewership.
I talked to some of your cop buddies, and they said Pickle Smoocher was your nickname in the force.
Pickle Smoocher?
Pickle Smoocher, is this true?
No, my
How many
nickname
pickles have you
was-
smooched?
My nickname was Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, they called me Leroy. Matter of fact, we
Never
went
go
to
full tansy.
We went to a wedding, and a girl didn't even know my name was Eric.
Just
She was
knew
like,
you
I
as
thought your
Leroy?
name was Leroy.
That is a what's the name of that game? I was almost gonna say Dungeons and Dragons, but it's
You nerd.
I'm the nerd. I can't think of the name of it. World of Warcraft. That's what it's called. Leroy Jenkins. But
Yep.
anyway, Pete Alonso, the trash bag Mets, who haven't won the World Series since Bill Buckner handed them one in 1986. Behind the back, it gets
But I
by
like their
Buckner.
uniforms. I always thought the Mets had really cool uniforms.
The Mets?
I love the orange and blue, the pinstripes. It's baseball, baby.
Yeah, but they're like the redheaded stepchild of New York. I mean, they're worse.
I
than
mean,
the-
I don't give
the
a
Knicks.
shit. That's why I call them the scumbag Mets. I just think they have cool uniforms. Fuck.
But speaking of New York, John Sterling is the longtime announcer of the New York Yankees. And they're apparently, for whatever reason, still doing things remotely, so they're not actually traveling to the games to announce these games. And he got caught. They were showing an instant replay on his thing, and he goes, "It is high. It is far. It is an instant replay. I apologize. This was from the inning earlier. Well, what am I supposed to do?" Which is hilarious, by the way. I love blunders in the press box. When you get these old farts who are doing baseball, like Joe Castiglione for the Red Sox, who sounds like this still, like a 1920s announcer, when they mess up, is the funniest thing in the world because some of them take it way too seriously. I don't know if you've ever listened to baseball on the radio. It is terrible. It's pathetic. They need to make it more of like a podcast or a radio show, get a little bit more light, have a conversation.
Maybe that's where we're at in this world. Maybe that's why you and I were put on this universe.
Oh, I would not want to announce baseball unless they pay me the big bucks. But I like what I'm doing right now. I mean, I'm in a pool talking about Conor McGregor and the home run derby.
You know who else has a lot of blunders on the microphone? And I always just think it's super funny. And I don't think he takes it very seriously.
Who?
Old Joe. Old Sleepy Joe.
Oh, Jesus.
Jeez. What a train wreck.
Sheesh. I saw a little clip from Sky News, which I believe is Australian, and they're just laughing at us. Now, don't get me wrong. Trump had a lot of sound clips that we could laugh at, but at least he could finish his sentences. It's like, Joe Biden is talking,
Yeah.
and he's almost like a robot. Someone pressed the button and it shuts down. It's pretty embarrassing when the leader of the free world is like that.
He's getting old.
Is this elder abuse?
Well, maybe it's because all the Hunter Biden stuff came out, and so he doesn't have like his little cocaine supply anymore.
Well, maybe.
Hunter's laying
Oh, they're
low.
juicing him up with Adderall. I think it just wears out by the time he gets.
Wears out.
I mean, but the thing is, would you really want Kamala in charge instead?
No, I don't know.
I don't want either of them in charge.
Neither did
In fact,
California. California didn't want her in charge either.
It's funny how that works. But I don't want any of those assholes in charge because, as we know, all politicians are what?
Can't say it on the show.
Oh, I thought you were going to do it. I tried to hook, line, and sinker you, but
Speaking
you
of
didn't
hook,
do it.
line, and sinker, my son took a hook right in the foot today.
But he didn't
Woke
cry
up,
at all. He's a tough bastard.
Took a hook, a fishing hook, right through the foot. We had to go to the ER. I had to remove the barb and get it out. It was just a big pain in the ass.
Didn't
and then
stop him, though.
We show up, and our lovely bartender, Susie, tells us a story about her friend diving down on some carpet, and there was a fishing hook stuck in the carpet, and it went through his testicle.
But he was young, right? I think it's probably better that he was 3 years old because if that happened to someone like a man now, how do you recover from that? I mean, if you're 3, you kind of forget about it maybe, hopefully.
You just like don't ever
doesn't impact you.
never get another boner in the rest of your
Jesus.
life.
No thanks. That's when I would probably just call it quits and probably kill myself, to be honest. But know who might die in a different way than killing themselves is Jeff Bezos, because now he's got to compete with
going
good
to
old
space.
Richard Branson beat him up there. Now I saw like the video and the pictures.
Wasn't
of what,
Richard Branson the one that went water skiing with like a naked chick
Yes.
on his back?
Yeah, he lives his
What
best
a
life.
fucking stud, dude.
Yeah, he's a G.
My
Virgin
hero.
Mobile.
My
but
hero.
he basically pretty much only went to space technically,
Is
which
his
again,
daughter a whore or something?
I have
Did
no
she have
idea
a sex tape?
I have no idea about his daughter.
I don't know.
I'm just talking about an accomplishment he made.
Okay.
And kind of downplaying it because
Well,
he
I feel
really
like that's
didn't
an
go anywhere.
accomplishment if your daughter has a sex tape that's like a viral sex tape. I
So
don't
is
have
that,
daughters,
is it,
so-
but that's not what made Rob Kardashian famous, even though he had a daughter that had the sex tape that was pretty popular. Same with Paris Hilton's dad.
Paris Hilton, that's like one of my favorites.
A Night in Paris?
Yeah, I love
She's
that
like
show.
on the phone with someone.
Dude,
Well,
she gives a great blowy in that one.
I guess, but I mean, I don't know. She's not my type. I like Pam Anderson and what's his face a little bit more.
Oh yeah, because you like the big giant wieners. That's why you like that one.
Well,
You
speaking
must-
of big giant
you must
wieners,
like the big dick porn.
speaking of
Because big old Tommy, that thing is fucking massive.
Yep,
I
you
felt
got
sorry
me.
for the poor girl.
You caught me, you asshole. I love big giant wieners. I'll say it right now. But you know who else does? Our friend Ross Patterson. They talked about on Ross Patterson Revolution today. Shout out to all the nooners out there. There is a Netflix show called Sex Life, I believe it's called.
Yes.
And they were talking about some guy has a scene, episode 3, where his member is very clearly present and flaccid, but
Yeah.
is about as big as my forearm,
I'm gonna have to watch that. Have
Which
we
is-
watched that before? Sex
which
Life?
is good for him and maybe good
Not because
for
I
his
want to see a
girlfriend.
dick,
but
it's
I
like
mean,
anything with sex in it.
I'm a heterosexual male. I've seen plenty of penises in my life.
questionably.
Oh, I guess it depends who you ask. But, I mean, wouldn't you want to see it? I'm curious. I kind of want to see it just like John Mayer's dick. Ross raves
Yeah,
about
he
John
does. He says
Mayer's
he's
dick.
got
It's
a nice
a
hog.
two-hander.
He's got a
I
nice
want to
hog.
see it.
And somebody else talks about Kevin Costner having a real hog.
Yeah, Cal Ripken Jr.'s wife. Are we allowed to talk about that yet, Noel? Because I think the Drinking Bros have talked about it before. It's been rumored for a while now, but allegedly, Cal Ripken Jr.'s wife was real close with Kevin Costner. They say.
Oh man, I love Cal Ripken Jr.
Why? Because he just shows up to work every day and plays mediocrely. Is mediocrely
What?
a word? Mediocrely, right? Sure. I
Remember,
mean,
he's in it for the long game, baby.
I mean,
he's not
sure.
in there for the fame, for the.
yeah, but then what happens
clout?
if you beat the shit out of Kevin Costner and you break your hands and you can't play? Is
Did he
that
do
an
that?
excusable absence?
Did he beat the shit out of Kevin Costner?
Allegedly, he caught old Kevin Costner with his wife and
That's awesome.
laid the smackdown and
I
hurt
don't
his
know,
hands.
I don't
so
know
bad he
how
couldn't
mad I
play.
would be about that. I mean, if my wife wanted to shack up with Kevin Costner, that's kind of cool. I think. I mean, I'm not really into that kind of thing. But, I
Really?
mean, I could fucking. I mean, if it's Kevin Costner, go for it, honey.
I think I would only get cuckolded for one man, and I think we know what man I would let cuckold.
Well, I'd be happy to do it for you. I'd be happy to
No,
watch
that'd be
you.
Jesus Christ, actually.
Really?
No, Tom Brady.
Oh, Tom Brady.
I would be tempted to join. I'm not gonna lie.
What is it if I'm banging your mom and I let you watch? Is that a cuckold, or is that is there another term for that?
That is a reason for suicide, I believe.
You just kill
or
yourself.
or
You just
murder
kill
suicide,
you just kill
actually.
yourself.
And again, poor Lori getting referenced in the wrong way again. Sorry, Mom. I'll kick his ass after just for
We
you.
just tie you to a chair. We need a porn genre where it's like you tie the son to the chair and then like he has to watch you slay his mom.
I'm sure if you search hard enough, you can find that.
Because all these kids are watching the stepmom, stepdads just game up it, like kidnap them,
you've
strap them to a
referenced that
chair,
before.
and fuck their mom right in front of them.
I'm sure that's a thing.
It is, dude. Like, if you go on porn anytime right now, you will see like stepmom, stepdad,
No,
sister, all this
I
fucking
can confirm
crazy, kinky family
Homepage
shit.
all the
and
time.
they say it's because of the newest generation of young adults that are watching porn. That's what they're really into.
But why?
I don't know. Maybe
So I
because
have
the
a
family
theory.
homes are so fucked up.
I have a
Did
theory.
you see that chick out of Florida that her
Well, it's
daughter?
Florida, so.
Like this just happened like 3 weeks ago, or 3 months ago. I can't remember, but it's recently. I think it was like 3 weeks ago. But Florida, you can Google it. But she's in Florida. Her mom and daughter have a high school graduation party.
High school graduation.
Yeah, high school graduation party. She's not graduated yet. They invite a whole bunch of people over. Everybody's hanging out. She goes to two boys that are both 16 years old, and she's like, "Can you come help me shower?" They go back, help her shower. She ends up having sex with one, finishes, starts to have sex with the other one. The one that she finished off goes out, tells a whole bunch of other dudes what's going on. 4 more dudes file in and watch. By the end of it, 7 dudes, all under the age of 17, are banging this chick's mom. She calls the police on mom. Police get there, and she's drunk beyond things. She ends up getting 7 counts of sexual intercourse with minors. So
Yikes.
she's fucked.
Well, know what that actually reminds me of is your old buddy, your second favorite woman criminal, Susan Smith, who I have a friend who has a mom named Susan. His last name is Smith, which is kind of funny. But anyway, unrelated. She used to have sex with the guards after she killed her 2 kids. And you know the story of Susan Smith, right?
No.
So she's the one, I forget what state it was, but she's the one who was seeing a guy who didn't want kids. And she had 2 of them. And she strapped her 2, I believe it was like 3-year-old and a 9-month-old into the car and drove it
into
up.
the water.
Yes. So
Yep.
apparently while she was imprisoned, she was banging one of the guards.
Yeah.
And then the guard stopped banging her. And apparently the only way she could get off was just by getting super fucked up in prison and smuggling narcotics in some way so she'd get real fucked up.
Huh.
So as a cop, I don't know how much time you actually spent in the prison or
Not
dealing with all
much.
that. How does one smuggle drugs into a prison?
I mean, I think it's easy. So, like, if you get arrested, like, let's say you have a warrant or whatever, and it's a minor warrant for like a failure to appear, and you've got some weed down in your pants, and you've been real polite and cooperative, and nobody really suspects that you have anything. Your strip search is going to be half-ass, lackadaisical, just kind of like TSA at the airport. And then you're going to make it through, and then you've got drugs in your pants, and you're like, shit, I need to get rid of this. And I mean, people will offer a pretty high dollar for whatever you've got keistered or whatever's in your pants. But hey, listen, I arrested a chick that smuggled a gun into the jail through her hair. She had a gun in her hair when we got her into the prison, and she was able to actually pull it out of her hair before I punched her in the
her
face.
hair or a weave?
It was a weave.
Yeah.
But I was able to. That's the first woman I ever hit in the face.
Will it be your last?
Well, if my wife doesn't bring me another one of these drinks. No, I'm kidding. I'm just joking.
Jesus.
I'm just joking.
We
I
don't,
do
we
not-
don't condone
we don't
domestic
condone
violence
no.
on this. But you know who might is Wendy Williams. Are you familiar with Wendy Williams?
Nope.
So she made some headlines again. You know, she once made a joke. So I think it was who's the guy who does The Price is Right now? Not Bob Barker, the guy after. What's his name? Drew Carey?
Yeah.
Drew Carey.
Yep.
So he had a wife or girlfriend, I forget, who killed herself by jumping out of a 20-story building. So the day after, Wendy Williams goes on and goes, "So did you hear about Drew Carey's wife?" And everyone's like, "Oh, yeah." Drew was just like, "Come on down." I was like, Jesus. Now again, I'm all for freedom of speech. I don't think anyone should get canceled for the things they say, especially when it's comedy and an entertainment show, right? But Jesus, she doesn't fuck around. So there was another one where there was this TikTok dude. She puts him up on the screen. And she's like, "Does anybody know this guy? Clap if you know this guy." Nobody claps. She He's 19, he's a TikToker, and has more followers than me. And everyone's like, oh, boo, boo. She's like, well, he died. He got shot. And everyone was like, what? So she doesn't give a fuck. I got to give her some credit. Howard Stern is on record not loving Wendy Williams, called her a dog-faced C-word one time. That for whatever reason, Howard Stern is uncancelable too, because he said some bad stuff back in his day, but he managed to get away with it. Well, it's just funny.
It's freedom of speech. That's why we live in America.
Sure, but he dances around with Ellen nowadays. He's a sellout.
Cock, balls, fuck.
Howard Stern is a sellout. I'm not afraid to say. I don't think without Howard Stern, we couldn't do the shit we're doing now. I think he sort of set the groundwork for podcast and, alternative radio out there. But he's completely done a 180 and completely flipped on everything he used to do. He used to stand for. He used to make fun of people like Jennifer Aniston and Ellen DeGeneres. And now he's kissing Ellen on her show and dancing around with her. So, anyone has a price, I suppose. Maybe everyone except for Dan Holloway. He's probably the only one that would never sell out. But I asked on the chat on Drinking Bros earlier, who would you rather see on Rogan, Ross or Dan? And it was pretty unanimous. People were saying Dan. But I think we should try to start a campaign to get one or both of them on Rogan. I think that would be so great for not only them individually and personally, but for Drinking Bros as a whole.
Well, I mean, they had the guys who started it, which was Jared Taylor and...
Well, I didn't see Jared. I know Evan Hafer and Matt Best were on.
Yeah, Evan Hafer and Hafer and Matt Best were on there. But, I mean, they're the godfathers of this whole thing. I mean, without Black Rifle Coffee, without that whole movement...
Sure.
There wouldn't be a Drinking
But
Bros.
I think Dan would be great on Rogan, honestly.
I think it would be fun on Rogan. I think Rogan would be fun on their show.
Yeah.
Has Rogan ever done somebody else's podcast?
Well, I think he did. I think we were talking right before we went and jumped into the pool and submerged here. It was Crystal Ball and what's the other guy's name? I fucking always forget his name. But they used to be on The Hill. They do independent sort of news now that it doesn't get canceled and doesn't get censored because they're individual, do their own thing. And he actually, after he interviewed them, went on their show for their sort of interview. Oh, we're getting round two.
Oh, round two. She's like the boxing ladies, where you just hold up the sign, round two.
So if you guys like Susie, go ahead and hammer that like button one more time on
drop
YouTube.
her a comment in the messages. Just say hi to Susie.
Yes, please. Yes. If
she's
you have
in
anything
a
you want to say
wonderful
to Susie.
relationship with Buddha, but I'm sure if Kevin Costner was around.
Okay. Small rant here. So the All-Star game is going to be Tuesday, which is, time traveling. We're in Tuesday right now. I know you're watching it on Friday. It's in Colorado. Do you know why it's in Colorado this year?
No.
So originally it was in Atlanta.
Okay.
So Atlanta has this...
Oh, yeah, so the Atlanta got rid of it because of the whole voting
Atlanta has this law, which sounds crazy, I know, but you need identification to vote. That's just wild. Who would ever think that makes sense, right? I mean, you needed to buy alcohol, this awesome alcohol we're drinking from and still, but... To vote, no, that's racist. Now, I don't know what that has to do with race, but they brought it up.
It doesn't. It's just you can't win
an election. So they Major League Baseball basically admitted that they believe minorities don't know how to have or don't know how to acquire identification. Therefore, having identification to vote is therefore racist. So now we are going to take away jobs and take away revenue from a predominantly black city like Atlanta and bring it to Colorado where there's more white people.
I've always laughed at when you see a white person with a Black Lives Matter flag, they are literally the most racist people you ever made. They're the ones that are gentrified, that have moved into the black side of town, put up the Whole Foods that all the people in that area couldn't afford before they got there and definitely can't afford now. They put the Target in, they put the little YMCA in, and they build their big giant house and they hang their BLM flag over there while all the homeless people in that...
Pandering at its finest.
It's pandering at its finest. I always loved it as a cop, and I always just loved their, how they've, we would spend all of our time in the community, and you would see some real heroes out in the community helping out, doing, cooking free food, and, you see the people that care. And then you see these young white college graduates come in and build their fancy fucking house in there, and...
Yep.
Oh, it's just funny. It's just the hypocrisy is...
So what ended up...
Always makes me smile.
Chain affecting, I don't know how it's not really related, I don't think. I would like to hope not. But what ends up happening now is then we get and again, we read it before and we've seen it develop the past few days here, but non-terrorist, but they're fucking potential terrorists here, let's be honest, where a maid... Heroic made, found a weapon stash, and there was like bulletproof vests and the whole 9 yards in this hotel room just outside of Coors
Well,
Field.
you know, I would say, I read the FBI report briefly before we came on the show. I'm okay with not coming out and saying it's terrorism.
Why?
Well,
You
because
don't
if
want to
I
jump
was
to conclusions?
because
or-
if I'm smuggling drugs, I want a weapon. I have my guns,
Okay.
and I also want to have a bulletproof vest on.
Is it a
If I
coincidence
am
it's right by a big sporting event, though?
Well, we can't. We got to stop with the whole perception thing in this country.
Fair,
Everything
fair.
is based on perception. The problem with that is if it were white dudes, they would make it an act of terrorism. And they would try to pull a race card and come up with some wazoo crazy
Maybe.
fucking story right off of the bat.
Like Stephen Paddock.
And so I agree that in both circumstances, it doesn't matter who it is. If you don't have the facts, then you should keep your mouth shut. I like that the media is keeping their mouth shut kind of on this. But like I said, if it weren't that they were Hispanic or they weren't of some kind of outside influence, this would be an act of terrorism right off the bat, just for media for clicks and clickbait.
Sure. It shouldn't matter what their race
right
is.
now,
They're a
right
terrorist,
now,
they're a terrorist.
right now, everybody's got the border thing, and that has to do with politics and being that they're Hispanics, and there could be some, people might perceive them as being illegal, even if they're not illegal immigrants. The media is just going to push that down. You know what I mean? They're just going
Sure.
to put that one underneath the rug. We're going to wipe that up.
And I mentioned Stephen Paddock, and he was the the worst mass shooting in American history, I believe, was in Vegas a few years back.
Yeah.
Next time we do a conspiracy show, I want to bring him back up because it's very strange. You go Google him, you look at his Wikipedia, and it's very vague and very sort of odd how they phrase what he is, like an American real estate mogul, and there's not a lot of information. And where's the stories and the documentaries on him? You don't hear a lot. I mean, this is the largest mass shooting in American history. You hear a lot about Columbine. You hear a lot about this and that. You don't hear a lot about the largest mass shooting in American history. I don't know why there's not documentaries out the wazoo.
It happened at the height of the movement for gun control violence.
Which, again, you're talking conspiracy
I
here.
know. Hey, look.
That,
You want to talk about
the bump
conspiracies?
stock,
Look, we
right?
can talk about Haiti right now and the Haitian president.
Yeah.
I mean, June 8th comes out, says he's not doing anything with the vaccine. July 8th, he's assassinated. Shortly after that, the FBI is rolling in there with vaccines.
And I don't know if it's
breadcrumbs.
confirmed, but it's sure looking like it was a CIA operative movement that killed
There's
assassinated the
definitely a
Haitian
coincidence there.
I mean, that's very strange. Why would we want to intervene and get in between Haitian politics? What do we care about that? Why would the
We
CIA
always
want to do
care.
that?
I mean, Cuban politics. I mean, so you want to hear something crazy?
I heard Cuba's nice this time of year.
Yeah. You want to hear something? This will blow your mind. So we've started this social media with Failure to Stop, and we're averaging, I don't know, 30, 40, 50
Humble
followers.
brag. Here we go.
Yeah, we're crushing.
Got more followers than me.
We're crushing. Put a post out the other day. It had 236 comments and 180,000 engagements, which was really cool. I've never seen anything like that. Never been a part of it. But on the storyboard, I posted an article from Cuba where the New York Times said they are shouting anti-government rhetoric like freedom, And all these other things. And
It's like Mel Gibson and Braveheart, anti-government freedom.
yes. So I put the article up, and then I just put a whole bunch of like little freedom flashes around it because it's like, yeah. So if you look on my storyboard, the story right before it, which was posted that was up for 17 hours. Yeah, I don't know, it had like 256 people had saw it. And then you look at the one that I pushed all the freedom stuff out. I put hashtag freedom, 26 people saw it. The very next one in 17 hours. And then the very next one after that, back up to 253. So just because I put the word freedom on the post, it went from 250 down to 26.
That sounds like a coincidence to me. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. I just
Pay
think
no
it's
attention to the
super
man behind the
funny,
curtain.
How, you had Bernie Sanders talking about Cuba and how we should emulate their healthcare system and
Know
their
who
school
else
system.
likes Cuba?
And now all of a sudden, that's not real communism.
Well, you know who else likes Fidel Castro
Socialism.
and what he did in Cuba and everything is our good friend Colin Kaepernick. He used to flaunt and parade around with his Fidel Castro shirt and say, maybe we should look at what Cuba's doing. I actually like what they're doing. I wonder if he likes what they're doing now. It's funny, we haven't heard much from him lately. Mr. Martyr. Colin Kaepernick. Which again, I'm on record saying if you want to kneel, go ahead and kneel. But
So now,
what do you stand for?
Speaking of Kaepernick, you can't talk about Kaepernick right now without talking about Tebow. How's Tebow doing? Is he still in the?
He's still
in the
there.
run?
You know, I heard Dan.
I saw that all these other linebackers are kind of rallying around him to try to help him out.
Well, I heard Dan say that was a. I believe it was on the first female coach
They
thing.
say that he's not going to play.
Dan's like,
Dan
I
doesn't
guarantee. Well, he thinks he's going to get cut. I really hope not. I really hope he doesn't.
I don't
get
think he's
cut.
going to get cut.
You think?
I think he's going to go the distance.
So you think? Do you think he's going to be almost like a coach?
I think he's going to play.
I hope he does.
I think he's going to play.
I think it'll.
I think he's going to play in some trick plays. I think he's going to get in on some. But you know what? At the same time, does it take away from the game? Does it take away from the team? Does it draw attention elsewhere?
Not if you're the Jaguars. You need all the help you can get.
And yeah, well, there you
Which,
go.
by the way, though, I think the Jaguars might surprise some people. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl of it, okay? But they
Cool if
might
they
win
did.
more than 4 or 5 games because Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, they played together at Clemson in college, and they already have the little connection. Etienne's going to look like a beast. And who knows? I mean, Trevor Lawrence, you look at Justin Herbert last year, who lit it up for the Chargers, and no one really expected him to play that well as a rookie. I think that he could have a similar type of year where he does kind of light it up. Their defense is lacking, to say the least. But I think that he could be good enough to make them at least relevant to watch, where they win a couple games and he's exciting. They're in it at the end in some games rather than just being the joke of the league.
If they can keep the fans from yelling Duval, they might have a chance of doing something great in that city. Until they're, if they can't get their fans to shut the fuck up,
Has there ever
they've
been
got
anything
no chance.
great in Jacksonville?
No, Moncrief
Jacksonville
Road
like?
maybe. No, I'm just kidding. Moncrief's like one of the most dangerous places. What's great out of Jacksonville?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever been there, but it doesn't sound like much happens there.
I mean, I don't know. They've got a Ruth's Chris on every block. That's kind of cool. I'm a huge Ruth's Chris fan, but not anymore so much. Oh, you know what's great in Jacksonville? Island Girl Cigar Bar. Ponte Vedra Beach, Island Girl Cigar Bar. They actually serve in still rum there. They've got one of the best music scenes. Plus a cigar bar. They got a great bar staff. The owners, Miss Rose, just fantastic human beings. And every time I go to Jacksonville, I have to go to Island Girl Cigar Bar. They are not sponsoring this show. They don't endorse this show or anything like
Free
that.
ads, baby.
I appreciate that place so much that I often venture there when I'm in Jacksonville. Also, you got TPC Sawgrass that's in Jacksonville. My
Is your
brother's
brother,
a coach
I was
there.
gonna say, your brother
He
over there
coaches.
doing his thing?
Yeah, he coaches professionally at a.
When is he going to be on the show?
Well, so he was on PGA South America, sucked on PGA South America, got off. Now he's got his mind right, and he's a golf pro at a. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, so I won't say where he's a golf pro at, but he's a golf pro at a very
Is it like,
prestigious golf course in Jacksonville area.
is that supposed to be something private that you don't know where he's...
I don't know. The golfing's got so many weird rules, and he's a professional, so
I guess so.
I don't want to get him canceled.
I
for
think he
the
would be.
shit
I
that
think he'd
say
be
on
a
the show.
good guest. Why don't we have him on the
I
show?
can
one
ask
of these
him.
times? Yeah,
I can
think
ask him.
that'd be
He's
cool.
kind of shy. He's a golfer.
So
dude.
he's just like
Golfers are
you,
boring.
shy, afraid to talk, and afraid to say what
No,
he
he's
means,
the
right?
opposite of me. Like he doesn't swear.
That was the
He's
sarcasm
super-
there that you didn't pick
Yeah.
up on,
Yeah, but he
which
does
is okay.
He does drink and still rum.
Well, to shift gears a little bit, I saw a recent study, which
Wait,
again,
I wanted to go back to
what do you want to go back to?
Tim Tebow.
Oh,
really
of
quick,
course you
talking
do.
about Jacksonville. If I could just watch Tim Tebow put one motherfucker to sleep as a linebacker, I will die a happy man. Like if he will just, maybe it's a blitz,
I
a tight end. Oh, he's playing tight end. He's not playing linebacker.
Why'd you think he was playing linebacker?
Oh shit! I'm so fuck it. Put somebody to sleep as a tight end. Like that's a great like, Gronkowski, a motherfucker. Well, we all
Sure.
know I don't sports, so like let's not all be shocked that I didn't know what. Tim
Do you know
Tebow
what
was
position?
playing.
Do you know what position he played in college?
Quarterback,
Oh, okay. What college did he go to?
University of Florida,
And what's their mascot?
Gators,
And what do they do?
and he had Aaron Hernandez, Cam Newton.
Yeah, Cam Newton was his backup. Brandon Spikes, Percy Harvin, Joe Hayden. That team was
It was
stacked.
solid
Jeff Demps.
team.
Oh my gosh.
Solid team. Solid
Both the Pouncey twins, they were a stack. You go
They
back
went
and
to
look
the
at that
Steelers.
team. Well, one of them did.
Yep. I
But
thought they both played there at one point.
no, just one. But that's one of the.
Don't try to sports, Eric.
That's one of the all-time best college teams. If you go back and look at that team. But I wanted to talk to you about a little study that came out. Now, again, we've all seen these bullshit studies where so you eat more chocolate, you'll live longer than 3 weeks. Like, chocolate's gonna kill you, right? However, we're on our phones all the time, right? And there's a new study that says 17 minutes a day on our cell phones, which I'm sure we're all way past that, over a 10-year span can increase your chances of a tumor by 60%.
Wait, say that
Does
again?
that concern you? So if you're on your phone up to 17 minutes a day
I'm fucked.
over the span of 10 years.
Oh, I'm so
It
fucked.
increases your chance of a tumor
Where's
by
the tumor going to be?
60% on your dick.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
Tumor on my dick. I'll take a tumor
They
anywhere
didn't
else.
specify where, but they just said that it increases the chances of you getting cancer, a cancerous tumor. Now, what do you make of this? Do you think it's just bullshit? Or
No, I think, there's got to be some kind of, you're holding on to these batteries, these things that are pulsating, all sorts of shit. There's got to be something to them.
There's enough time spent with these now that we can actually have data to back this shit up, right? I mean, we've had cell phones now for over a decade. Everyone's been using smartphones and everything.
We can't get any real information anywhere, so I'm not even going to speculate or try to pretend. Like, I mean, fuck, there's
just fear-mongering again. But you would think they'd want us to be on our cell phones more, right? That's going to keep people off their cell phones, which is kind of a strange tactic nowadays. But I don't know. It scared me enough to think maybe I should put the phone down. But then 10 minutes later, I just instantly react and pick the phone up again.
I'll tell you what,
I'll
probably will not get chemotherapy if I have a tumor.
Why is that?
I just don't.
You don't believe in chemo?
I mean, I believe in it ish. I think within reason, but I think I don't know. I've seen every one of my friends that's ever gotten cancer has gotten chemo and has died, and I don't know that. I would rather just die.
Know what I would do?
The chemo.
Know what I would do if I got
opinion.
cancer?
I've
I'd
watched
start
too many
selling
people do it.
meth. That's what I would start doing.
No, I'd start killing pedophiles.
You don't need cancer to start killing pedophiles. You just go kill pedophiles anyway, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, if I'm going to go to jail for the rest of my life,
I suppose.
like, I'll just wait until I have terminal cancer and I'll just go fucking ham.
So, admittedly,
Like Grim Reaper style. I mean, not Grim Reaper. What's the guy's name? Jack Ripper.
no, you're thinking of Walter White.
Oh, is that the dude that was, like, in Alaska that went, like, fucking killed pedophiles?
No, that's the guy who made blue meth. That was the
I don't know
over
who
his
that
head
is.
every time. Anyway, it seems like you have something up on your phone that you want to share with us. Is there something that you want to talk about? Because I wanted to get to the racism in England with the soccer players.
Well, I'd love to get to the racism, but I want to put the whole Tim Tebow thing to bed. If I was going to put it to bed, I'd do it on a ghost bed.
What other bed is
wouldn't
there?
be in this pool right now, enjoying this beautiful water, getting
Hold on,
nice
you're gonna get
and
me electrocuted.
sunburned.
You're gonna get me electrocuted. Am I getting sunburned? Is that what
Listen,
happened?
when I get out of this pool, I'm knocking your mic in just to fuck you up and kill you, so I don't have to deal with your bullshit
do
anymore.
anything for clout.
But GhostBed has been a loyal sponsor for the Drinking Bros for the last 5 years. We absolutely love GhostBed. They have a 20-year warranty on each mattress. They're all made in the good old USA. Man, listen. Dan, we had him on the Failure to Stop.
Sure did.
And got probably the best GhostBed ad read I've ever heard in my life.
I know, right? He showed you. You're like, oh, I don't have it in front of me. And Dan's like, let me show you how it's done, rookie.
But you know what? He has been literally sleeping on a GhostBed.
Well, sure.
For
and he's been
5
doing
or
the
6
ad read
years.
forever. I mean, he's a seasoned vet, you could say.
And I will say that one thing that's changed my life is that adjustable base where you can set it up into the couch style. Basically,
Get all the
put it
angles,
in the couch,
right?
sit there. You can drink your coffee, you can drink your wine, watch your porn in bed without getting a kink in your neck. And I love that. I absolutely love that. But
What's
each
your go-to
mattress
porn site, though? Huh? What's your go-to porn site?
X-Hamster.
X-Hamster. I'm an X-Videos guy, personally, but either
X-Videos.
way, I'm cranking it on the ghost bed, though, I'll tell you that.
So 20-year warranty. Man, I'm trying to read this in the pool, and it is hard to do.
That's what she said.
Right now on Drinking Bros, if you use promo code Drinking Bros, DRINKIN Bros, you get 40% off. 40%
How do they afford this
off.
shit?
That is huge. I don't know. They love us. 40% off a Ghost Bed bundle, where you get a mattress and adjustable base, or 30% off of everything if you use the promo code Drinking Bros. So go to ghostbed.com/Drinking Bros. Adjustable base is the best in its class for a very low price. You have thousands. You save thousands compared to others. Adjustable base has 15 massage modes, 0 gravity, and some other awesome features. You can buy a mattress for $35 a month, baby. If you got mediocre credit,
Even I can
0
afford
down,
that.
0 financing. Go check out ghostbed.com/Drinking Bros. Again, made in the USA. 20-year warranty. You can try it out for 101 days.
I mean, you can't beat that.
They've got the cooling technology, so you can stay hard while staying cool. That's my favorite part, because when I'm hard, I want to be cool. I don't want to be all sweaty, slimy, sliding all over the place. I want to stay cool.
One could argue that you do want to be a little sweaty and slimy so you can slide right into the place, but hey, to each their own.
Well, when a girl sees me and sees this dad bod, she's already slimy. And
Yeah, our dad bods are on
sticky and
full
ready to
display
go.
right now. Go ahead and check us out on YouTube if you haven't already. Who rocks the harder dad bod? Now, Tansy's an actual dad. I'm just a loser who has a dad bod with no kids and a dog. So, who's the real winner here, right?
All right, so racism.
Racism's
the
in
UK.
soccer, baby.
But I mean, dude, like in fucking,
racism's everywhere.
If you
but
look at the crime data and the crime stats, I love how like everybody's talks about American crime and how disproportionate it is when it comes to race. You can look at England's numbers and it is almost identical to America's. So we're not the only people that are having problems with this issue. I know it sounds bad, and that's the
I
perception.
think we're probably one of the most
that.
progressive countries with it.
But
But
it is pretty. They do have a big race. My wife lived in France for a really long time, and one of her friends, who was a much older lady, she's old enough to be my grandmother, but she came down from France and was visiting us, and she was a good friend. And this was, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, and she got on a tangent about Muslims in France and how they were taking over France and how they just legit hates Muslims. And her blatant. Here in the United States, we don't get to hear too much blatant racism, at least me being a cop.
Maybe down south.
I think that most people just kind of shy away from that thing and don't generalize when it comes to race. But that hasn't caught on to France yet because she was just like unapologetically, no fucks given, like saying some like racist things. I don't think that she hates all Muslim people, but she was talking about the problem with Muslims taking over cities and creating lots of crime. And taking over whole parts of France. And I just thought that was very interesting because when we talk about the French, we always think of, them being better than us or them being more.
I think of French fries, French toast. Maybe that's just because I'm hungry.
Any of those things have anything to do with France.
Oh, remember we called them freedom fries for a little bit because like we hated France or some shit.
I don't know why we stopped doing
Tony
that.
Blair or some shit. I don't remember. But if you're wondering what we're talking about, because we kind of just prefaced the racist part of it, but. As Giorgio, I know Papa G watched, Italy and England played for their little Euros over there and across the pond.
Italy showed up looking like
they played molto bene.
They look good getting off the plane. The English guys look like they got off the plane like a bunch of hungover frat
That's how
boys.
they should look, right? Like
I don't know,
English
man.
has got that like sort of ragtag sort of thing.
But Italy got off the with their Armani suits and looking straight gangster, and.
And they ended up winning in penalty shots. So what it all came from was a few of the dudes who missed the penalty shots happened to be black dudes. And not that it matters, but apparently it does matter to some of the English blokes out there. And so one of the players, his name is slipping my mind right now, but he apparently has donated a lot of his money that he's gained from playing soccer to various charities. So they made like some sort of mural of him in England. And some of the hooligans, we'll call them in England, graffitied it with some racist comments, which is unexcusable. I mean, this dude's playing soccer. But
is it different? Is it different over there? Is it racism? Like, okay, let's play devil's advocate here.
Do it.
If you were to fuck up the when we had Matt Dodge on our show and he fucked up that kick, he was called all the most terrible things in the book. If he was black, they would have just called him the black version of those nasty things, which I guess we could pull the racism card, is it? But I really feel like we just use the racism card too much. Like, I'm going to call you all sorts of shitty things when you fuck up. I mean, dude, I call you crazy shit.
Okay, but see, the thing with that is, like, I don't...
And now here in America, it's different, right? Because we, like, legit have words that we cannot say that
exactly,
are off the table.
If they're
England
writing...
doesn't have that. So if we're going to call you, like, if I'm going to call you a dumb... whatever it is that you are, a retard or whatever, I mean, I'm going to call you some heinous names. If they don't have words that are off limits in Europe, why aren't they just going to call them that? I mean, think about it. Like, what do you call a baseball player when he fucks up?
I just say he sucks. He's a bum.
He's a bum. He's a bum.
Well, like when Pablo Sandoval was on the Red Sox, I called him a fat piece of shit because he was.
There you go.
But the problem is I didn't call him it didn't have to do with his race. Like Pablo Sandoval isn't, a white American. But I've called, all different types of players from all different races and backgrounds bums and assholes and that they suck. I've never said, oh, he's a, racial slur. So that's what I feel like.
Yeah, but I think
there's no need.
I just don't know, like, what is a racial slur in England? Because there's a lot of countries that don't have. Used. I don't think that they have racial slurs in Europe. I don't know. Like in Afghanistan, there's nothing. Like you can't call somebody in Afghanistan a racial slur because they don't exist.
I guess it depends who you ask, though, right? I mean, if you're that soccer player and you're
in America,
guy,
and in America, the N word is off limits. Like we all know that. Everybody knows.
It is in England too.
They can't say, I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I mean, it should be, right? I mean,
they didn't. I mean, they didn't go through the same thing we do.
But to my point is,
I mean, they
call him a bum. Don't. And the thing about the graffitiing over his mural,
hooligans.
That's ridiculous.
They're
though.
like fucking.
What are we doing
they're
here?
hooligans. Like what, you're trying to tell a hooligan to be reasonable? They're not reasonable. They're
Sure.
hooligans.
I
They
mean, that's
fucking
what a
break
fan
beer
is a
bottles over-
fanatic. But
they're fanatics. They spend their whole life in the pub watching soccer. I mean, you're watching soccer. How low do you get?
okay, but like Tom Brady
Soccer
throws
sucks.
a pick. You don't go, oh, he's a white trash hillbilly
Are you
redneck.
Sure? Are you sure?
I don't. I say he's a bum.
You've never heard somebody call somebody a white trash piece of shit.
I mean,
when it comes to athletics and sports,
not
like
as much
how
with
many
athletics
times have
and
we
sports.
talked about Alabama being cousin fucking dumb Hicks from Alabama?
Interesting.
Or how about
Interesting
LSU
point.
calling them dumb rednecks
But
and calling them white trash?
It doesn't
pieces
make
of
it
shit.
right, though, right? I mean,
I don't
it's
give a
all
fuck.
effed up.
It's just, I mean, that's what we do. You banter. It's camaraderie. We shit on each other.
Yeah.
You should be able to shit on each other anyway. I will give
There is
the
a
N-word.
line. You
I
can
will
cross
never
a
use the
line.
N-word because of the atrocities that have happened, and I'm all for it. But that's the one thing I would never say. I don't know that that's the same way in Europe is all I'm saying. I don't know that they have that same rule. Here it's a rule in America, and I'm for it. I'm all for it.
Sure.
I'll
So-
never use that word, and I would never
But that's
condone
what I
somebody else
mean.
using that word. But everything else I'm going to call you, I'll call you a white trash piece of shit. I'll call you all sorts of fucking. You know me,
A
baby.
hunky?
You know me. I've called you some real
cracker?
I've called you some real fucked up shits.
Yeah, like a fatherless asshole. And then reminded me why
You
I'm
don't have a dad.
and reminded me why because I'm an ungrateful prick
I mean,
because
no.
I didn't text him Happy Father's Day on Father's Day, which again,
that's-
what the hell is that? But anyway, the point is, I'm all for saying whatever the hell you want to all these guys if they fuck up for your team. But it's like race never has anything. He didn't miss the penalty shots because he's black.
Sure.
He missed
No,
it because he
I-
missed it. It could have been anyone
I
else.
know, but what I'm saying is, if they're going to insult him, they're just going to call him the craziest insult they can think of.
Yeah, but it
I don't
doesn't
think
excuse
it's
it.
like I'm not saying it excuses it. I don't know the culture. I've always known that hooligan culture has always been unreasonable. They murder people at games for wearing the wrong color. I'm not so sure why we're all shocked that they're using the worst cut down they can for a player. I don't understand the infatuation with that. I mean, they fucking murder people. Like, I don't know, murdering somebody is kind of worse than using a racial slur.
Unless
But
you're
we're making
murdering
way
bad guys.
bigger of a deal about the racial slur than them actually stabbing each other, which, by the way, stabbing crimes in England are fucking through the
That's
roof
because they
right
don't have
now.
guns. But do you know who does have guns? Who does have guns? Navy SEALs. Do you know what the
Ooh.
Navy SEALs invented?
They also have nice hair.
They have great hair and great butts, I've heard, too. Can't confirm or deny, but I've heard.
They
But
got the butts of baseball players.
a Navy SEAL in the United States Navy SEALs invented Kill Cliff. And as we know, Kill Cliff is a huge sponsor for the Drinking Bros, as well as our show, Tailgate Legends on Drinking Bros Sports. And we all know it by now, right? They got the Flaming Joe, which is my favorite. The drink that Tansy's been holding out on me. They have the cool song, Flamin' Joe, Flamin' Joe. How far can you go? Anyway, so they also have some
Flamin'
other
Joe,
great
Joe.
flavors of the Mango Tango, the Orange Kush. Who's favorite? Whose favorite is the GOAT? You know it by now.
Tim Tebow.
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.'s favorite flavor, the GOAT, the Strawberry Days. But get them all, Buddha. Every single one of them. The variety pack is the way to go. Or drink
That
a Miller
Ignite?
Lite. You want to talk white trash, you're talking Miller Lite. But we're not talking white trash right now. We're talking Kill Cliff CBD. God,
We're like, hey, Buddha, why don't you get in the pool? He's like, no, I got to work later.
no, he
He's
said he
back
didn't want to
there
embarrass us because he's all ripped up, to
crushing
shreds
Miller Lites
there.
over
Just
there.
like all the Navy SEALs who invented Kill Cliff. There's no sugar, 20 calories per can, B vitamins, electrolytes, and it's all naturally flavored because we like the natties around here. We don't like the big fakies. We like the small little natties. That's what we're into here, okay? Shout out to Susie. Just kidding. Anyway, go to killcliff.com, KILLCLIFF, and what's the promo code, Tansy? What do you think it is?
K-I.
No, he wasn't paying attention when hosts aren't paying attention. The promo code is Drinkin' Bros. DRINKIN.
I'm sorry.
Fuck
I'm
you.
getting text messages.
He's so cool. BROS. You get 30% off. Now, I would just go the ham. I mean, stock up because you never know when there's going to be like an Amazon shortage when Bezos tries to go to space and dies. Order all the Kill Cliff. Order all the shirts. I want people sending us their orders of Kill Cliff. They're using our promo codes. So I want people to use our promo codes, order a bunch of Kill Cliff, get some apparel, get the Kill Cliff shirts, send us pictures, DM them, and we'll post it on Drinkin' Bros Sports so you guys can get a little shout out to all the people out there.
Somebody took a nice little picture of us from a balcony.
Oh, shit.
No, somebody else did. They just texted it. It was old Buddha.
You listen. You need my consent before you start taking pictures of me. This is the two-party state.
Is that Killcliff?
KILLCLIFF.com. Promo code Drinking Bros, 30% off. Do it now. Hammer the like button on YouTube. X out. Go to killcliff.com. And then come on back and finish the rest of this
Head over to
episode.
Drinking Bros Sports, give us that 5-star rating, and leave a comment what you think about specifically the Tailgate Legend show. If you're a big fan of our show, give us a comment.
And also, go follow me on Instagram. I still only have like I have like 530
Actually,
followers.
I will tell
What
you this.
the fuck is this?
I will tell you this. Ever since you started doing like these like updates, like with sports updates,
Couple
or just
more.
like
I've been
updates,
a couple
stuff,
more.
I'm really digging it. It's actually entertaining. It's better than you just walking your
That's the
fucking
nicest
dog
thing
every
he's
day.
ever said to
so
me.
I think your social media should probably start growing now that you're actually giving people.
I mean, if
value
you're
and
if you're a
entertainment.
fan like, you know, the big Dick Danoffs out there and the Bradley Andels who's on our
Do
show
they
last
follow
night,
you or no?
They do.
Okay, I was
They
gonna
do.
say Big Dick Danoff doesn't follow you. Fuck.
I know, right? Well, that's what I'm saying. If you watch our show, you listen to our show, and you're not, I mean, we all know at this point you're following at Eric Tanzi official. He's got all the millions of followers now with his big shot over here. Help me out. I want to try to get to 1,000 like this
Like
motherfucker
you're
over
not
here.
gonna beat me in likes. You're not gonna beat me in Instagram he follows. You're not gonna beat me in one-on-one basketball.
Oh,
you're not even gonna beat me
my
in horse.
goodness. I'm going to do all the things.
There's not really much you
And-
have going for
and
you.
again, I'm
you'll
not
never
forgetting
have a
about-
dad, so a real dad at least.
Hey, actually, I beat you in that because your dad has never said good job to you, but guess what? His dad said good job to me just the other day. So take that, motherfucker.
Yeah, okay.
He went and listened to me play some music, and he was like, wow, you
He had
didn't suck.
he had alternative motives. Like his motive
is he
was
trying to fuck me?
No, he was trying to fuck me over, like by saying, like,
Oh.
look, why can't you be more like Boston Joe, boy? Make me proud and actually learn how to do something productive with your life, like play music by Sublime on your guitar while you
No,
sing.
I
Like,
played,
that's some real man right there.
I played some Leonard Skinner for him.
Yeah, that's all it takes for my
Needle
dad.
in
My
the
dad's like
spoon.
been listening to the same three bands, like Led Zeppelin, Leonard Skinner, and the Allman Brothers.
There's
his whole
nothing wrong
life.
with that,
And if
Noel,
there's
right?
anything else, it's garbage. Like he won't listen to it. Like he was in my car the other day.
Led Zeppelin's the greatest
and
band
it was like
ever,
a commercial on a radio station that he would appreciate, and the commercial had like some kind of hip hop, and he's like, I don't know why anybody listens to this shit. I'm like, it's a fucking advertisement, Dad.
I mean, I don't like hip hop either, though, to be honest. Most of it. Some of it's good. Most of it's not.
I don't like you, to be honest.
Well, Led Zeppelin's the greatest band ever, and I love the Allman Brothers. Leonard Skinner's good.
How about
But-
Little Feet?
Yeah, Little Feet's all right, but
Okay.
that's a little bit too southern twang for me, to be honest with you. But, you know, more of like an Aerosmith guy, the Bad Boys from Boston. But your dad has great taste in music. That's why I did a Leonard Skinner song and not, you know, Sweet Home Alabama or something, a
Oh,
Free
he would
Bird.
love that. He would love both
I
that
did
too.
Needle in the Spoon, something a little bit different that you don't normally hear when you hear people do Leonard Skinner around
Is
Claytona
that one
Beach. Needle in the Spoon and a Trip to the
Silver
Moon.
Spoon?
No, that's a song I don't know anything about. When you're coming home, son, I don't
Yeah.
know when.
Yeah.
When you're coming home, Dad, still waiting. Those cigarettes are very far away. But yeah, so you can try to beat me in that. But again, Tansy's dad has given me more likes on Instagram than he gives his own son. So take that. Old Dobby Tansy.
Trying to watch my kids in the pool, and we've been missing one for quite some
You
time.
have 3 women watching them, right? All 3 of them. You got 1 woman for each kid. I think you'll be good. I mean, there's no fish hooks at the bottom of this pool, right?
Oh man.
Too soon? Too soon?
Soon. So what do we have next week? Next week we have Mike the Cop is coming to Claytona Beach.
Excited to meet him.
He'll be coming in on Thursday. So maybe we could do a Tailgate Legends show Thursday next week to have Mike the Cop on Tailgate Legends.
Oh, that's a
Not
great
sure we'll have to
idea.
get with our producers on that because
Did you show him the sign yet?
I did. Yeah, he loved it.
Is he
Signs by
jealous?
Veterans?
Is
Yeah.
he jealous that you have the sign and he doesn't?
Yes.
And can we confirm that he is as jacked in that picture as?
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out
confirm it on
when you see him in
Thursday.
real life. This is the first time you've met in real life, huh?
This will be the first time we've met in real life. We've
Wow.
had 4 episodes. We're averaging about 86,000
Humble
downloads per
brag.
episode.
Humble brag.
We made the top iTunes charts for 3 weeks, beating Michelle Obama and Sarah Silverman, which is
Be
I can
careful
die
saying
happy.
beating Michelle Obama so close together. People might take that clip and use it for something else. Are you beating Michelle
I
Obama?
would
What
never-
are you beating her?
I would never get in a fight with that dude
Oh my God!
ever. Like if that guy came at me, I would just walk the other way.
She's a nice lady.
He is a big dude.
She took away snacks
But
in
you
schools.
cannot.
Okay.
If you just Google Michelle Obama is really a man, the evidence there is just overwhelming. Like at some point, there's no coincidences. That's a dude. I'm sorry.
Hey, if
Whatever.
she is, we don't kink
We
shame.
don't kink shame. Who
Barry,
gives a
whatever
shit?
you're
Show
into,
us
man.
your dick. I want to see that.
Barry's
hog.
probably packing a hog. Let's be honest, yeah.
Old Obama's?
Barry Obama.
Nah, I don't think so. You ever seen him standing next to old Michael?
Michael who? Corleone?
No, that's what he calls her, Michael.
Jesus.
There are so many clips of Obama calling her Michael, right? Is that what it is? He calls her Michael? Yeah, he calls her Michael.
I think Ben Shapiro doctored those videos.
No.
This
This is
really.
He'd be like, yeah, me and my husband Michael, Michelle, me and my wife Michelle. Dude, there's like,
husband,
dude, I
That's
swear.
not real. Barack Obama. Say what you will about Barack Obama. Listen, say
Yeah,
what you
Michael
will about
and I
Barack Obama. He's a great speaker. I
just-
doubt
I
he's
just
Sleepy
farted
Joe in
I
it.
just farted bubbles in front of all those women.
Oh,
That was the
man.
painkiller talking. Does
it kill the pain coming out of the booty hole too?
I guess. I don't know. But like my
Can't believe
butt.
you just called Michelle Obama, man. You're an asshole.
You don't think she's a dude?
No.
Bro, Google it. You've never Googled it. Look at the evidence. Bro, she's got a package. She adjusts it. Like she'll walk off of the plane like adjusting her ball sack.
Oh, we are going to get canceled for that, baby.
Look, I don't care if she is, dude. Shit, if she's got a dick, I want to see it. I thought Susie would have had a penis because I thought there was no way that Buddha could have actually landed a girl like that and there not be a penis under there or some kind of surprise, maybe some kind of weird lumps or something.
Listen,
but, here she is
Speaking
half
of
naked. And
speaking of former presidents, let me just
I don't see a package
Let me
there.
divert to something different so Tansy doesn't get himself canceled. There was a video that went viral, and again, I am not a father, even though I have a dead bod. You're a father. There is a woman, a mother, with
Okay.
her young son who happens to be around your eldest son's age, maybe around 8 or 9 years old. They're riding on their bikes in a nice little white suburban neighborhood, and there's an American flag on the front. I think they have one of those Ring cameras at this house. The kid sees the American flag in the front yard, stops, the mom stops and watches as he pulls up the American flag, throws it on the ground, and they pedal away, and the mom doesn't do anything about it. If one of your sons did that, how would you react?
You ever seen the John Wayne movie where the little boy's like, I don't know how to swim, and John Wayne just picks him up and throws him in the fucking river?
No.
That's what I would do, except I wouldn't jump in after him and
Throw him in
teach some-
the lava pit like
If my
Darth Vader?
son defiled an American flag, listen, if my sons could do anything, I'm a pretty tolerant guy. Wouldn't
don't
give
be a
shit.
politician, right?
Yeah, they cannot be politicians, or I'll change their name. If they picked up the American flag and they threw it on the ground, I think that discussion would be, we're going to go to the Special Warfare Museum in Fayetteville. We're going to go over to Gettysburg. We're going to go over to the Smithsonian. We're going to take a look at real American history. Yes, we have some dark moments in that history, but does not every civilization known to man have those same things? They do. And what it really means to be an American and how we came together to get rid of racism, how we abolished slavery.
Only country to fight itself to end slavery, by the way.
How we,
But let me ask you this. So do you, again, obviously you got to blame the parent. The parent sees it happen. But how much of it do you think is the teachers at the school?
It is crazy. And I don't know. I can't speak for the teachers at the school because we homeschool our kids. But I will tell you this. During the when Trump was in office, my son was my three sons, they were at a playground and they were playing. And my oldest son, who was 7 at the time, was underneath the slide talking to another kid. And they were just running around the slide, going up and down the slide. And him and this other little boy really became like close buddies throughout the day. But they went underneath the fort and they were talking. And I could tell that the talk was serious because my son was had a very confused look on his face, and I was like, man, I wonder what's going on. Like, I wonder what that other kid is saying to Duke. Is he trying to teach him something, or what's going on? Because my son looks like he's like really into this conversation. So at the end of the day, we get in the car. And I'm like, hey, son, what was your little buddy's name? And he says the little kid's name. And I was like, cool, man. And did you guys play tag? And I saw you guys playing tag and, running around and a little bit of maybe hide and go seek. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, hey, man, you guys were talking for a little bit. What were you all talking about? And he's like, oh, just some stuff. And I was like, sure. Like, can you tell me what kind of stuff you guys were talking about? And he was like, well, Dad, actually, the boy asked me if I hated Trump. And I said, oh. And I said, well, what did you tell the boy? And he goes, my parents don't let me hate. I'm not allowed to hate anything. I was like, oh, good answer. And I said, was that it? And he goes, well, no. The boy then asked me, do I love Trump? And I said, well, well, what did you say? And he goes, why? I told him I only love my mommy and my daddy. And that's the only person I love. And I said, yeah.
Not his brothers, by the way.
And then I said, well, okay, well, so what did he say to that? And he goes, well, me and my family hate Trump. And if you love Trump, then I'm not playing with you.
Yikes.
And my son was like, well, I don't love him, so like,
Yikes.
game on. So, at 7 years old, like, what's going on in that household
Yeah.
that you have put that stress and that pressure? I don't want my kids thinking about my bills. I don't want my kids thinking about my business entrepreneurship. I don't want my kids thinking about my politics. I don't want my kids stressing out over these, like, crazy things. And here you have another child on a playground who's caught up on whether his friend loves or hates Trump.
Is that a
and
new
I
age
would
thing?
say, I don't know, but that parent is a terrible fucking human being.
Sure,
Like,
sure.
not even a terrible parent, just a piece of shit in general. Like, if
yeah.
you're that big of a fucking idiot,
Yeah.
you should not be allowed to have kids. And
Seriously.
they should have fucking.
But I
nipped
do
him a while
wonder,
ago.
like, was that happening in the 80s where in the 80s parents saying, like, you hate the president and you go tell your friends? Or is this a new age thing where we've politicized everything so much that nowadays we feel like we have to tell our 7 and 8-year-olds about
When I
Trump
was
and-
15, I asked my dad when I was about 15, and we were doing a project in school, and I asked my dad. This was all like at the height of the Bush administration, and I said, hey, Dad, we have to do this project at school, and I don't remember what it was, but I was like, hey, Dad, who did you vote for? And my dad said, it's none of your business. And
that
I
was
didn't
sort of
know.
the
I never
old
knew
school way to do it, right?
I never knew who my dad voted for, and I don't think it was until I know I didn't vote. The first time I was eligible to vote, I didn't even vote because I was in the military and I was deployed and I didn't give a shit. But I did vote the second time I was eligible to vote. So, but that's how I keep it with my kids. Like I don't think my kids know that I voted for Trump. They probably don't even really know who Trump
Even
is.
if they
except
did, they
for-
don't know anything that either candidate stands for, and they shouldn't. I think that's. Yeah, and that's exactly, if you could see that on camera, that's exactly how your shot's going to go
You
when we
move
play
the
each other.
net.
Yeah, sure. And I'll move the net on you. But kids shouldn't know about this shit. Like you said, you don't talk to your kids about bills. Like, this is the last thing kids should ever worry about.
Especially
and
at
it's
8
on
years old.
parents and it's on the teachers to get that shit out. There was a viral video of this,
Same with like trying to figure out what the fuck your gender is. If you're talking to your kid at 7 and 8-year-old about genders and shit, fuck
they're
you.
giving out condoms at schools to like 10-year-olds nowadays.
I think that's fucking ridiculous.
It
I
is.
mean, but anything that has to do with like being noble or nobility, or anything that has to do with like purity and righteousness, or like just being good and decent, I feel like we're all just trying to go against it and trying to make the world as dark and as crazy it is. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with teaching abstinence. I don't think there's anything wrong with teaching people to be in love before you have sex. I mean, within reason. I don't think it's a bad thing to teach somebody. I mean, I do think that,
Sure.
I
mean, that's fine,
You
but-
shouldn't be teaching kids in high school to just go fuck whatever they want.
Sure. I mean, sex ed in schools is ridiculous anyway. But, if you've ever had sex ed in public schools, you know it's absolutely ridiculous. But there was a viral video of a TikTok woman who was a teacher, I want to say 4th grade. And she's like, yeah, I have hard conversations with my kids about white supremacy and racism and how rampant it runs through America nowadays. And they have a great... Bad idea. They have a great conversation about critical race theory with 4th graders, and they really know how to talk about the tough situations and racism in America.
Because
and 4th
we
graders.
see racism. Like, look, even when I went to school, back in the 90s, early 90s or late 90s, fucking dude, I don't know one fucking racist kid. And I was in Florida. I was in the swamps of Florida. Like, everybody had a rebel flag. Like, we had like 4 black dudes at our school, and all of them had rebel flags on the back. Matter of fact, if you look at one of their Facebook profiles, he's wearing a Dixie Rebel t-shirt still. He's a black dude. Like, racism didn't exist. Like, nobody was like, I hate black people. It was just, I mean, Southern pride doesn't necessarily mean racism, which it
Save
does
that,
now.
by
But
the way.
like,
Save that clip.
I've never met somebody that was like, you know what? I don't like black people, because I wouldn't be friends with that person.
Yeah.
I would be like, well, that's crazy. You're a fucking retard.
Yeah.
Get out of my life. So I don't know where this whole like racism is so prevalent and like there's racism everywhere you turn. I mean, is there racism? Yeah. Are we ever going to eradicate racism? No.
Well, let me ask you this.
Let me ask you this though, to
ask
close
me.
out the show.
Well, I was
Bo
gonna close.
Jackson. There was a meme that said, I don't know if this is true or not, but there's a meme. It's got Bo Jackson's face. It's got a quote, and it said, "If I were to play."
Nowadays, yeah.
If I were
Jerry
to play
Rice had
nowadays,
one, too.
I'd be running for 400 to 500 yards per carry.
Probably.
I believe it. What
I
do you
believe it
think?
too. I believe it too. And to close it out with what you were just talking about before, the Bo Jackson thing, which was out of left field. But where does it end? Quentin Tarantino was on Rogan, and it was a great conversation. Go check that out. And he talked about how, like, in the 80s, political correctness kind of ramped up. Then the 90s, it went away, and people doing whatever the fuck they want in regards to movies. And now it's back to sort of, you got to be PC again. Maybe it's just a cycle, and maybe this will run its course, and we'll go back to
Pendulum's
doing
just
what,
swinging.
we'll go back to doing what we love to do. But we get to do what we love to do in a pool. So thanks for watching our dad bods today.
Yeah,
though,
thank
huh?
you, Ghostbed. Thank you, Kill Cliff. Thank you, Instill Distilling Company. Thank you, Susie, Buddha, Ashley, Alicia, everybody for the Bechtolds Tiki Pool and Bar in the beautiful, right off of Bradshaw Lane. I'm not going to say which state we're in, but we may or may not have shot we might have had our first show with Willie Parker here. And this has always been a special place for us, and we're glad to be back. Until next time, guys. Guns up, get it. No, that's my other show. Cheers.